Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for July 2015, and every year at this time the sun comes into a more background area. So for you in your sun sign chart, this means things going on in the background, maybe in preparation for later, but it's definitely not kind of under the spotlight on center stage. It's more like let's get ready for that moment. Okay, so it could be physically, going and getting things repaired or replaced. I don't know, maybe it's a crown on a tooth or something, but it can also mean other types of stuff going on behind the scenes, creative stuff, but this is an area to do with healing and nurture and getting out of, I don't know, getting off the sort of the wheel of karma, in a way, a wheel of life, just sort of getting more into that zoned out sort of space, because that's healing as well. So it's kind of feeding the soul, but also you've got to think about the physical, because that's how you manage to navigate your way through this world, is through use of a physical vehicle, and it has to be maintained. This is also a karmic house, so it might mean that you've got to put yourself out a little bit more for others, or they're just leaning on you a bit more. You have to do that, but you could find yourself being more engaged during this time in a separate little bubble with others who are, like they've got their kind of little world. It's kind of inside the castle wall sort of thing. It could be a circle, it could be a group, it could be a society, but whatever it is, you're in a more self-reflective mood. You get more time to mull things over. Your vitality might be a little bit down here as well. So when you're planning ahead, just bear that in mind. It'll really start to push up again when Mars comes into your sign in August, however. But here, vitality is just a little bit lower because your energies are turned inwards, and you may feel happier if you do take more time out when you're not doing things for other people, or not doing things that just have to be done. Whether that was your choice, whether you felt like it, these things just have to be done because it's for a good cause, or it's just for the common good, that kind of thing. Also during this time, there might be old stuff popping up to the surface. There might be old emotional reactions which you thought you'd grown out of. That kind of thing might be coming up to the surface. But because your energies are turned into, just be aware, those of you who understand about how energy works, and how our energy can be influenced by others, is that during this time you are more open to the moods and thoughts of others, whether they are in the room or at a distance. So just be aware of that. We've got Mercury until the 9th in a very sort of matey area where you could be comparing notes with others. You could be learning things from others. You could feel inspired from others. Others could feel inspired by you. It's very much to do with the internet, information technology in general, actually. And you could be surprised by another style or unusual take on things. So you might be having more to do with that technological side, but also, maybe benefiting from their slant on things, their experience. Then between the 9th and 24th, Mercury is in the same area as the Sun and Mars, which is very self-reflective. You zoning out, you don't know knowing what you feel about something, or what you've decided about something, or indeed you're waiting for all the information to come in because you just don't know how it's going to go. That sort of thing is more likely with Mercury there. But again, this thing about having more involvement with others in a separate little bubble, in their kind of specialist sort of little kind of world, Again, I will say it's a good time for healing, artistic work, spiritual work, using the imagination, the world of dreams, but also for tapping into the higher self energies, guidance, etc. It's a very good time for that. However, on the human emotional level, you could get tripped up on an old reaction or two, either through coming through you or indeed coming at you through another. It's more likely this month, really, maybe mostly between the 9th and the 24th. And then from the 24th, Mercury moves to where the Sun moves to on the 23rd. So the Sun and Mercury then are lifting up out of that area and they come into your sign. So really, even though Mars is still in that background area, meaning that you're getting a lot done behind the scenes, all kind of sort of almost like privately or secretly, or indeed there's more going on within you than your external image shows. With the Sun and Mercury in your sign, it gives your confidence a boost, and it helps you to be more decisive, to see things clearly. Okay, so yeah, so then the energy really does start to shift there. But do be aware of dreams, visions, coincidences, so-called, you know, just those little details of everyday life, which are so, you know, actually, because everything is connected, they are so connected to you and your consciousness, because your consciousness is connected to all, to the consciousness of the all and everything, really. So, but just be a little bit careful with your energy. You must look after your energy more. Don't put yourself in situations either, particularly between the 5th and the 7th. Try not to put yourself in situations which are dodgy. Yeah, I say that, you know. So it might mean a number of things, mightn't it? But just a bit risky, a bit iffy, we might say. Try not to anyway, if you can possibly help that. And if you have to, then again, ask for protection, or just be more aware if you're not the sort that asks that gets protection. Okay, because it's quite easy to do. Just go straight up and say, okay, I need the protection around me. And this has nothing to do with about being, you know, paranoid. This is just as an ordinary thing as putting on a jacket, you know, when you go out. Okay, and then what else am I talking about here? Off on another tangent. Yes, this is the good bit, of course. Well, it's all good, really, because it's all at different sort of phases of our overall evolution and growth and so on. But you do have Venus and Jupiter in your sign, apart from between July the 19th and August the 1st. But and that is always got to be a good thing. And this is an unusual thing as well, because Venus doesn't usually spend this long in one sign of the zodiac, and this is the planet of beauty, this is the planet of money, abundance, excuse me, it's the planet of art, it's the planet of romance, it's the planet of really getting on well with somebody in a business sense as well, and opportunities coming in your direction, meeting the world, feeling good in your skin generally, and meeting the world with more ease and enthusiasm, and you know, just giving everything more flow, as in whichever sort of category you know, of life you're in at the moment. And you can reap the benefits from that. Venus it makes you feel as though you've got the support there, that you're not going it alone. And actually, you shouldn't be sort of stubborn about that. You should feel as though, okay, I need to reach out here, because Venus will, and Jupiter as well, will help you to reach out and actually be pretty fortunate in you know, what you touch base with, if you see what I mean. Now, the caveat there is that when Saturn is going to touch those two by a degree, so that'll be Venus from the 10th and then Jupiter from the 21st onwards. And all that will mean is that there's still all of that good news with those energies that I've mentioned to you. It's just that it means it might take a little bit longer to come to fruition. It might take a little bit more hard work on your part, more perseverance on your part, having to feel a little bit more weight of responsibility on you in order to push things through. It's just not all on a plate. as if it would ever be all on a plate. I mean, sometimes it can be, especially with Uranus and Jupiter together in the first week, as a matter of fact. Although that is going to be pretty much finished by the end of the first week. But that aspect's been going on since late May, second half of May, over June, and just we can stretch a point and we can take it just into the first week or so of July, and that energy is opportunity knocks, you know. If you've reached for the golden ring with that one, whatever that crazy plan was about, and you are beginning to kind of capitalize on that or benefit from that, then this kind of dip in the energies, which is not a total crash, it's just a dip in the energies, is going to have that, you know, is going to be mixed in with this much lighter, faster energy anyway, because you've taken advantage of it, whatever it was about. So kind of a lucky break in some way. It could have been that. But definitely it needed you to push the envelope, is to get yourself out of the normal everyday grind and into different and interesting sort of situations as much as you can, because that is where that Jupiter-Uranian energy is more likely to be able to have delivered to you by the time you reach the Venus-Saturn, Jupiter-Saturn bit of the road, okay? It just means harder work, pushing things through with more just like being a bit dogged, you know, to get it right, get it how you want it to be, or overcome the obstacles, the resistance that might be there. Okay, and also the other thing about this month is the Pluto-Uranus thing, so might be a bit jittery when the Sun and Uranus are going over each other's degrees. That's between the 10th to the 14th, 10th, 11th to the 14th. Maybe slightly tenser time there, maybe more riding on this thing, whatever this thing is, and then you just kind of go with the flow, bend with it as much as you can, and just expect the unexpected. And then between the 5th and the 7th, which is obviously before then, we do have Pluto and the Sun going across each other, again very briefly, but this is coming out of your house of health. And also your everyday tasks, your everyday work. So if it's health related, there can be a little bit more pressure on you. But the thing about Pluto is it wants us to let go of old stuff which is irrelevant, which has outlived its usefulness or doesn't make sense anymore, or that can be, you know, health-wise, that can be in a relationship, that can be in any number of other ways. You'll know it if it is affecting you particularly. But then, of course, Pluto's job is to help us to let go, then break through, and then get on a new sort of stretch of road, as it were. So we overcome some kind of challenge, and in the process we've let go of something. We feel quite satisfied that we've managed to do that, because all of a sudden this unexpected thing is that I don't have that burden anymore. I feel relieved. You know, this is the way it can work, whatever it is about. But this is what I've just said to you about Uranus and Pluto is maybe more for the cardinal sun sign people. However, every single sign of the zodiac will have some kind of connection with a cardinal sign degree, with one of the planets or important points. And anyway, so we don't need to go into that. And then what else is happening? The Sun moved on the 23rd into your sign, so that's a powerful time from there on. Saturn returns to her previous position, or has returned to her previous position until October, and that's challenging you to take more responsibility for the dust swept under the carpet from the past. You to really, I suppose, just tidy away what, and doesn't mean sort of repressing it either. In fact, that's part of the problem, is actually, okay, it is what it is. We have what we have. Let's just do our best to sort of tidy that away as best we can, and then that goes back into the earth, as it were, and then, you know, new growth can come from that sort of thing. And this will help you to build better emotional, physical foundations for the future. And you, Leos, born 20th to the 23rd of August, or with from 27 degrees rising, are to feel that energy the most. Jupiter, as I said, is in your sign, and that's up until August. So you've got a little more of that very expansive energy left, more travel for many of you, more chance to really step out into new areas, pushing the envelope. Again, as I said before, foreign cultures could be more emphasized, and just don't overlook important details. But this is still a really good time for you to be achieving things that maybe you've had to wait for a long time. And even when when Jupiter does leave Leo, your sign goes on into your money house as well. So that can be quite a profitable, more profitable, easier time for you there. Time for you to really expand, but more on that when the time comes. And you, Leo, is born the 13th to the 22nd of August, or with 20 to 29 degrees rising. You're going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. And that is it for July. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also, if you want to check any of this stuff out, it's written up on my website there for all to see, DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you again the next time.